Number 5, learn to manage your time effectively. Candidates that regularly struggle to complete cases often get a low score for the clinical management and complexity domain. And that's because while they might have got the diagnosis right, remember that diagnosis is marked as part of the data gathering and diagnosis domain. If you have explained the diagnosis fully, but you've run out of time and haven't discussed management at all, you cannot get a passing score for the management domain. And because the clinical management and complexity domain is weighted 50% more than the other two, while getting a good score in that domain is amplified, if you get a poor score in this domain, you're losing a lot more potential marks. That also gets amplified. And a common reason to lose marks in that management domain is just that people run out of time. So they haven't discussed the management in full, they haven't discussed things like safety netting, they haven't thought about other risks. It's not enough for you to know it. You have to have had time to actually show that you've dealt with it. Other reasons that people might lose marks in the management domain might be actually that they're not up to date with the current guidelines and they're proposing a management which is not in line with current guidance. It might actually be even something that might help the patient. It might not be harmful, but if it's not up to date according to the current guidelines, then that will impact your mark. The bigger thing is in terms of time management. If you can try to wrap up most of your data gathering in the first half of the consultation in about 6 minutes, that would allow you time then, once you've actually thought about what is the diagnosis and explained that to the patient. If you explain a new diagnosis to a patient, they're often going to have some questions, right? So that might take another few minutes. Wrap up the bulk of your data gathering by about 6 minutes, spend a couple of minutes on your diagnosis. That's still going to leave you 4, maybe slightly more than 4 minutes to deal with explaining the management, maybe discussing different options, coming up with a plan, talking about follow-up, safety netting, and wrapping up. Whereas if you're still taking a history at 8-9 minutes, when I see candidates who are doing that, in almost all of those cases, they get a failing mark for the management, not because they don't know it, just they're not going to have time. So work on managing your time, on being able to deal with everything in the 12 minutes. It's not 12 minutes just to come up with a diagnosis. If you get the diagnosis right, but you've got no management, you're going to get a clear fail for the management domain. That can have a huge impact. And if we look at the data, and we've looked at the reports that the RCGP has put out, but also we help lots of people on our intensive SCA course who are resitting the exam. One of the things that I see, because I ask them to send me their feedback and I look through it, is that doctors that have struggled, that have failed, in most cases, the thing that's had the biggest impact, it's because of the management domain. By being focused in your time management, being focused in your data gathering, it allows you to show what you know so you can get all of the marks that is possible in the management and complexity domain.